Shalom Makim. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all that I can offer on this earth who's pushing this truth and sincerity. Shalom Makim. Yeah, I want to get into this, Bill Gates, one of these high-level warlocks they have out here. He's pressing, every time he hits a panel, he's got something he's exposing him and his elite homies' plans. I've done reports on him coming out with something that he wants to blot out the sun. He said too much sunlight is coming down on Earth. He's taking apart our food industry. He's gone to other countries and administered different types of jump shots to different people, way before the shutdown that happened a few years ago. He's been caught numerous of times of doing that, in different countries, whether it be Africa, India, parts of Asia. He's even stated that, how he wants to, keep the population control in these countries and give them birth control shots and different things and sterilize the men. Different things of that nature. This is what the wicked man thinks of, man. So it doesn't end with him. This is another face of a Dr. Evil. Here on planet Earth, there are a few Dr. Evils running around. And each one is trying to be more wicked than the other one, for the most part. And he says Bill Gates predicts AI will replace humans in almost all fields except these jobs. And that's, at the end of the day, their ultimate goal: have the robots take over human jobs, have the people dependent on the government for help and food and everything. That's what they do, man. Isaiah 9:16, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. And like I said, he's Bill Gates. He starts off with the in the computer stuff with the Microsoft, and now he's became your leading medical expert. Him and his cronies. He's became your leader. They have a name for these guys. They call them philanthropists. They have all these millions of dollars of money, and they could just throw it around into any type of fund they want to, and any type of wicked, institution, and just say that they're helping the people. In all actuality, they got something wicked. They got a wicked agenda behind them, man. And like I said, this he's been caught numerous of times of doing just crazy stuff. And then, like I say, you wouldn't believe it if it wasn't coming out of his mouth. Some of the things that he says and he's trying to do, But and he always has a thing he says is for humanity, the greater of humanity. That's what all these Dr. Evil say. It's for the greater of humanity. That's what they feel in their heart. They want to be God. This is Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are physicians of no value. That's all they do is lie about what their technology is going to do. Look what Elon Musk, with his different ships that he's shooting out to space and having these people supposedly go all the way out to the belt, the Allen belt, and then come back down. And this last one that happened with these ladies, it's just it's just too fishy, man. It's a lot of lies, and their lies, they have to continue them going. So yeah, they're physicians. Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, and that's what they do. They just make these things up. The whole going to the moon thing. They're planning on going to Mars right now, and they ain't even been to the moon. They ain't even left the Earth's atmosphere for that most part, man. But here it is. They're pushing the narrative that they've been to these different places. And one of the key things, like we already knew, that if Esau was able to go out into space like he wants to, he would leave so much trash out there. If he go to these other planets like he wants to, he would pollute them and weaponize them and turn them gay. Just do all sorts of things, man. Wicked things, man. And we're exposing the wicked, man. That's our job anyways, man. Especially when our people are just docile and they're carried away into the everyday cares of society, man. They don't know what the hell's going on, man. You know, a lot of people see these different things. Like when you go into Whole Foods, you'll see a palm reader. A lot of our people, if you're not knowing the times we're in, you don't know what that's for. You just think that this is to help you move faster through the line, you know? Oh, the technology's working for us. No, it's gonna work in you. It's what these devils want to, with this AI replacing human stuff, man, you know? They want to put it in you. They want to merge man with machine. And this is their clandestine plan that's been going on for quite some time. They've ruined us with these different movies and shows, man. The $1 Billion Man, the cyborg movies, you know, all your cyborg movies, even the Wallies and stuff like that, getting you having feelings for robots and stuff like that. Robots having feelings all of a sudden, you know. This is Matthew 24 and 22. Except those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, man. You know, and like I say, this devil, he wants you to go to the one of all things for him. And, you know, if you know, the Lord doesn't hurt and push this devil to go ahead and hurry up, you know, and push these plans out, push your wicked agenda so the Lord can come down, man. You know, this is the name of the game, man, because at the end of the day, these guys are in a trick bag, and anybody who follows them, you're in a trick bag, man. You know, speaking to you Israelites, because there are some, you know, that you know, that love to run behind Master, you know, and do whatever Master says, you know, and if Master come out with a new way of life and living, then they're gonna follow that, man. You know, Master came out with a new way to eat the pig, the lobster, you know, the crab. They're gonna do it, you know. Red Lobster got 1,000,001 ways to cook a lobster and shit. And our people love to flee there like it's a delicacy. But yeah, these dudes, you know, these dudes, these Dr. Evil dudes, you know, from Carl Schwab to Bill Gates, your Elon Musk, your Donald Trumps, they all have an agenda, and they're being put, the Lord is using them, man. You know, Lord is using them. So you Israelites are joined by the hip by these dudes, you know, that listen to everything they say. The Lord's got a plan for you, man. You know, you got to be part of that missile food that's coming, man. You know, this is Proverbs 14. I mean, it's like this is Proverbs 4. 4 and 13. I'm started. It says, "Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life." And what is instruction, man? You know, don't deal with this devil's technology, man. You know, although he might come in and tell you that he has something for you that's gonna help you, don't believe him, man. Don't listen to him. Proverbs 4 and 14. "Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men." This is an evil man right here, man. Although he tells you all the riches you could get, you know, by joining teams with them, as far as, you know, getting down with technology and stuff, man, you have to reject it, man. But if the Lord's not dealing with you, then you're liable to fall into his wicked ways, man. Proverbs 4 and 14. "Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall," man. You know, and these devils, they don't get any rest, man. You know, they have to have nations and people in these nations fall under their grasp, man, under their wicked grasp, you know. Proverbs 4 and 17. "For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence," man. And this is what they come, man. You know, they say peace, and sudden destruction happens, man. You know, the whole time, my man he comes up with these different so-called jump shots for the people to take, and telling them they're going to get rid of some of these things, and they end up jacking them up. There's one simple case that I always will go back to, and this is before I was in the truth. This is when I was at home, and I was watching. This is when I used to watch the RT news. Yeah, it was RT news, I want to say. That's when it used to come on, like public channels. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching it, and they had the over in India, and these guys over there, and they were talking about polio. Polio got eradicated worldwide, like, you know, shit, before I was born. You know, they were dealing with the polio disease in the 30s and in the 20s and 30s, and they came out with a vaccine. They came out with something to get rid of it. You know, I can't use that word. They came out with something to get rid of it at a certain point. You know, and when we were growing up, you know, it was obsolete. There was no need to have a vaccine. There was no need to have something for that, because it was not around. But fast forward, a lot of things that were here, they now put those in overseas in these third world countries. So now it was catching fire over in India. Come to find out, once again, that these devils was injecting the people with it, and they had them walking around like noodles and stuff, man. You know, noodle backs and stuff, man. Legs wasn't going two different ways, man. You know. So yeah, they do these wicked things and they get away with it, man. Let me drop down this Proverbs 4:19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble, man. You know, like I say, this dude was he's got every week he's coming out with something, or every other 3 years he's coming out with just a crazy plan. Like I say, he got one where he said the earth is too hot, you know, and he wants to cool it down by blocking the sun out. So him and you know, over in England, they're trying to really bring out these different devices to do these things, man. You know. So at the end of the day, man, you know, we just got to keep an eye on these wicked men, and we're gonna call them out and continue to call them out, man. With that being said, I hope this is edifying. Shalom, Maki.